Can I go from bronze to unreal in Fortnite while riding a unicycle? No builds, no moving in the game unless I'm moving on the unicycle, just balance and pure skill. This all started 2 months ago after reaching my PR in Warzone with 27 kills. I realized I needed more of a challenge than just destroying chair players in a game that abuses aim assist. That's when I made the switch to a raw input of mouse and keyboard and constructing this platform that straps to my body. And I also wanted a game that had different abilities and movements to work on and deal with, and that's when we landed on Fortnite. 2 months is how long I had to become proficient with mouse and keyboard in Fortnite. Halfway is when the real challenge caught my eye: ranked play, leaving me with only 30 days to achieve the bronze to unreal glory. Now, for my bronze to elite journey, I had to figure out what worked well, what was the meta, what was I going to have to fight against. And really the loadout for me was Sentinel Shotgun with a Hollow AR, fighting loot, and dealing with swords along the way. Because everybody would spam me, hit me with the swords, and I had many, many deaths. And I didn't actually get my first win until I got to the elite ranks, till I actually understood the game. And that's when I learned what really worked at the highest of levels, which got me into champion 20-something%. Now, I get it. You're probably asking yourself, does it hurt? Absolutely. And now, even though I'm a distance unicyclist, I've done tons of races, I've raced across states, I stream about 2.5 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and the pressure can add up. So my viewers actually supported me by donating money so that I could construct a seat that was specifically made for me to have comfort through this challenge. And I could tell you quite honestly, if I did not have this, I don't know if it would have been possible. Now, my overall strategy, I would rotate the entire games in safe places with vehicles and take fights from a distance and keep my vehicles safe with bubbles. I eventually switched to bunkers, which I'll talk a little bit about later, but that would keep my car safe because everyone is focusing your vehicle, draws a lot of attention, unlike when people are in trees or bushes like this, which can catch you off guard. Now for the introduction of the Oni mask. I use this a lot in certain games just for rotating it. I would preemptively put it in certain places if I needed to go there, and even with bad aim, I was able to win this game because of positioning. So if you're wondering about my sensitivity, I'll put them on the screen for you. But as for my mouse pad here, we're probably rocking about 12 by 12 inches of actual usable space. So a lot of times you'll probably see me hip fire in positions where you would say, hey, you should just ADS this. But with the limited space I have to adjust, in addition to the amount of adjustments I make can mess with how I'm moving on my unicycle, which then compensates with how I have to readjust my arms. So a lot of times I try to do as little as possible while I'm on the unicycle. Now back to the Oni mask, I'm simply just in a better position. Every time I got in a bad spot, I would just portal out, and this gets me in a 1v1 position. This guy ends up being weak. And again, I don't sword spam a lot. I usually just use the ultimate ability, even just to push people out of bounds. Oh! Oh my god. Now, I use all of these same strategies to get me from 50-ish% all the way up to 87%. Now, this is where my downfall started to happen. I would get loss after loss after loss. And at one point in time, I even get this glitch where I can't sprint right here.
I can't sprint. I can't sprint at all.
If I can't get it today, I'm done. If I can't get it to 90%, that is. One more day from Chantel. Steven saying grind it. I mean, I could give it 2 games. All right, now to give you some perspective where we physically are right here. It is the 11th day in a row of unicycling. I haven't taken any days off. Before this day, I unicycled roughly 35 hours in 10 days.
Hey.
This is the 11th day. It's the final day. And we are coming up on needing to do 3 streams. In order to accomplish this final push from bronze to unreal, I had to unicycle 10 hours in this day. Every setback feels like a mile. And so I told chat, I needed some motivation. I needed some wins. And so if I was going to make it, I didn't feel like I was going to make it just by running, getting 1%, 1%. And so I started to take on fights. I started to win fights, and I started to build that confidence. And within that confidence, I felt like that good offense was my best defense. It kept people off of me and allowed me to get farther into these games. Now, what you're going to see start to happen is my computer starts to have issues. I don't know if it's the computer, I don't know if it's Fortnite, but I started to get these crashes. And in the 45th, 50th hour, you'll see why I feel the way I do. Whoa! No way! We got 9% out of that game. I'm gonna take a 5-hour break. He believes. You believe, Mako, right? So we end up having some dinner. Me and my lady had some coffee. At this point, it's 5 p.m. at night, and we get back into some games. We do this back and forth, percent up, percent down. So at this point, I'm exhausted. I can barely see my opponent. My aim is terrible. To hit shots, it is unbearable. Here, I have no bullets left, and I have to pickaxe this guy. And surprisingly, I beat him. I get third-partied, and this was right off the rip. I got challenged off rip. We lose a couple percentage.
Right,
So I
guys,
go
I'm gonna
back,
take
take another break, get some more coffee.
Midnight. 30 minutes past midnight is when there's going to be downtime.
So I'd say for the next hour and a half, doing the same thing, going up a little bit, going down a little bit. I start using bunkers to get myself center zone, giving myself cover. We get ourselves up to 96%. I'm feeling good.
Yo! You gotta be... I lost 3%.
So at this point in time, chat's telling me, hey man, go take another break. And while I appreciated it, my legs and my body were at the point where I used to do these distance rides on my unicycle. And once you get past, 60 miles, if you stop, you're done. And I had unicycled 9 hours that day, to the point where if I stop, there's no coming back. So I just had to keep pushing through. And like I talked about earlier, these last couple games that get me from 93% to 96 and to 98, bunkers. I avoided using vehicles. I avoided using bubbles. I would get myself to center zone, find a bush, bunker up, and it was fruitful. Even though I wasn't winning games, getting kills, we were right where we needed to
I should
be.
have kept moving.
Now this puts us in the final game. It is Rocket League at this point. There are so many people in such a small circle. I don't have the ability to aim. I'm exhausted. I'm telling myself, we just need a top 5, Ed. I'm carrying bushes. I'm hiding out until I have to move. And I just keep telling myself, let's keep moving. Let's not engage. We've done everything we needed to. I'll let you guys watch the rest of it. Thanks for being here.
Yes! We did it! 11:30. We did it with 1 hour left. Oh my God! Bronze to Unreal on a unicycle!